Good morning to everybody. It's fallen to me to wake you all up this morning. But don't worry, there's a bit of video in which you can relax. I just want to say thank you very much to Natalie and the Spanish Association of Symphony Orchestras for inviting me here, and also to Paloma for the wonderful organizational support. This presentation is dedicated to two extraordinary people who you see here. They were essential in my personal education and in my professional transformation. And both of them left rich legacies in articles and books, which are highly relevant in the fields of music education and social transformation. John Painter was professor at York University, where I studied. He was a composer and a music educationalist. And during the 1970s and 80s, he led the team in England, which transformed the public school music education curriculum, introducing practical, hands-on music making, music improvisation, and composing in the classroom for children of all ages. And this was mentioned yesterday in somebody's speech. Mercedes Pavlicevic was a musician and a music therapist. She was passionate about social justice, and she was amongst the pioneers of community music therapy, shifting the clinical focus from a primarily Western medicalized lens to a more comprehensive social stance. Just briefly to tell you where I come from, I grew up in a professionally musical family in London, and when I was 5 years old, a cello was put into my hands. And when I was 10, I joined my local youth orchestra, and then 4 years later, the National Youth Orchestra of Great Britain. So by the time at 18, when I left London to go to York University, I was intimately familiar, indeed passionately in love, with a huge quantity of Western symphonic repertoire. 8 years later, in Italy, with a degree in music and a master in cello, I was offered a contract at the Maggio Musicale Orchestra in Florence, but I never took it up. Instead, largely thanks to John, I began to work as a music educator, and later, inspired by Mercedes, as a music therapist, retraining to master level. John helped me to choose how I wanted to think of education as a leading out of what is latent in the people I work with, facilitating discovery of their potential, supporting their empowerment in realizing their capabilities, and respecting them in the choices they make with regard to these. Through the years, this has led to the establishment of our community-based organization, Prima Materia. Prima Materia describes itself as a social workshop of musical nature. And we develop our projects and actions starting from two basic premises. The first is that all human beings are musicians. The second is that all human beings have the right to develop, practice, and celebrate their musical capabilities through accessible resources within their communities. Prima Materia leads a community music project in a rural area in Tuscany, Italy, and our strategy is to observe and listen to the local community carefully and to try to develop and match our resources, human, material, and economic, in order to support our objective, which is the community's social growth through music. Prima Materia's work led in 2011 to the birth of the project Music and Resilience, together with the Palestinian refugee community exiled in Lebanon. Let's take a look at this project through a short video which illustrates the development of music resources across the spectrum, linking culture and education with psychosocial support and mental health care. You don't have the picture. Stop. It's music. We don't have the video picture. But we could just listen to the soundtrack, maybe.
Those children who are now in the camps living in such condition, bad condition, when they began to even touch a music instrument, it's a new, it's a new thing for their life. At school, we don't have at our school music lessons. So from where they can learn?
Music therapy until now proved to be efficient with some cases like autism, like behavioral disorders, and for sure our long-term objective is to be self-sufficient. It's a mental health intervention we are doing. Working with the children, I discovered how many of them they are talented in music and they like music. And when we teach them music or we make them more sensitive to music, I think we open their eyes on something different, not only on weapons, not only on war, not only on conflicts, but on something that is beautiful, that is nice, and that could give them a lot of satisfaction.
And music is a language. It's a new language. They are learning new language. And we need it. It's part of culture,
In 2013, this project, Music and Resilience, was honoured by the International Music Council through the assignment of the Musical Rights Award. And if you look at the musical rights, which is the declaration of the Council, the relevance of the project is to the first three, for the right of all children and adults to express themselves musically in all freedom, to learn musical language and skills, and to have access to musical involvement through participation, listening, creation, and information. Our meeting with the International Music Council subsequently generated MARS, Music and Resilience Support, which is a European-funded Erasmus Plus project. And the leading light of this project was Mercedes Pavlicevic, who cultivated and nurtured the project's growth with her extraordinary learning, insight, and enthusiasm. The Mars partnership was composed of 5 European realities. One of them came from Spain, the Catalan choral movement, and our Palestinian partner in Lebanon. Mars is an online resource center, including a freely accessible training course for music educators who share our beliefs in the musical rights. In particular, we want to support the development of responsible, sensitive, and critically aware music educators capable of facilitating music learning and music making in disadvantaged, marginalized, and deprived communities. In order to build the Mars resources, we first carried out an extensive needs analysis, which involved some 40 professionals and organizations worldwide, and the answers guided us in the course design, which covers 5 essential aspects, which you can see here. Before embarking on the pilot training program, the staff group trained together to refine our pedagogic approach. The following video, which is quite provocative, and many of you will probably not like, but I suggest that you watch it looking at the behaviors and looking past the music at what's going on. It illustrates some aspects of our staff training, and this was a training session. We weren't performing, okay? We were rehearsing. We, the staff, were learning about bridge building with music through rehearsing a score created specially for our training by one of the staff team, composer-conductor Henry Brown, who is the conductor you saw working with the children in Lebanon. The piece is called Bridge Singing, and a look at the score reveals the pedagogical thinking. Henry built bridges between folk songs from the countries represented by the staff group. So from the first line downwards, Palestine is a folk song, Hassisan, England, London Bridge, Catalonia, Un Jean Petit Combaya, Italy, O Ciao Ciao, Maria Caterina, and France, Sur le Pont. There's a lot of diversity here, but the composition chooses to find common underpinning in the melodies and the harmonies. And the result is a messy, very messy, hands-on exploration of meetings, which involves risk-taking, losing oneself and finding oneself again with the help of others, being confused, but also having a lot of fun. It's a bit like life, really, isn't it? There's lots going on, and certainly the original songs undergo significant transformation. So I think we need the second video.
One, two, then 1, 2.
It's enough. It's enough of that. So what this video suggests to me is that in a caring and safe environment, education can transform our instinctive fears about diversity, meaning anything outside our comfort zone, into playful and respectful curiosity, which will reward us with the gratification of discovery, wonder, and fun. The Mars course remains online and accessible, and almost all of the Mars pilot students carried out their field training in Lebanon with Music and Resilience, and 3 of the graduates are at present very active in developing the project's next actions. Returning to the 3 words of our panel theme, our specific education aim in Music and Resilience and in Mars is to enable, in the case of Music and Resilience, Palestinian youngsters to find their voice so that they will be able to advocate for a better future, a transformed future in which their diversity is recognized respectfully as a resource and not denigrated as a criteria for social abuse and violence. To quote Mercedes in the Mars course, we hold in mind the importance which a musical instrument can hold for somebody who is living in transience and social or political marginalization and deprivation. Musical instruments are extensions of our bodies and voices. They become the tools through which we can communicate expressions which do not find form in words. Playing an instrument in a music group becomes a powerful metaphor for finding one's place in society or in the world. And to close, I would like to share a short video, the final moment of the Music and Resilience 2019 concert in Lebanon at the end of the summer music camp between Italian and Palestinian students and teachers. We hear Jana, a young Palestinian from Lebanon's most overcrowded and discordant refugee camp, who has definitely found her voice and her place in her community, and she introduces Duke Ellington's work, Caravan, and we listen to the end of the piece. The subtitles are crucially important, and I would like you to concentrate on those to hear just exactly what Jana, a Palestinian refugee from a community which is 70 years outside its homeland, has no civil rights and no future hope of going back, what she is saying.
نحب أن ننهي برنامجنا بمقطوعة من دولة لا نتفق معها بتاتا. لقد اخترنا معزوفة لمعازف أجنبي جاء.
No, they're not there, and the subtitles are important. Can I run it from my computer, please? Because the subtitles are on my computer.
نحب أن ننهي برنامجنا بمقطوعة من دولة لا نتفق معها بتاتا. لقد اخترنا معزوفة لمعازف أجنبي جاز زنجي يدعى ديوك إلينغتون. وعلى سبيل إلينغتون وفرقته نحن نستخدم الموسيقى كوسيلة للدفاع عن حقوقنا كما فعلت الزوجة ذات يوم، ولكننا لذلك اخترنا الموسيقى اللغة العالمية التي يفهمها الجميع لتأكيد وجودنا. فصدى هذه الموسيقى سيعم أرجاء الأرض حاملا معه قضيتنا الأولى
Thank you.